my name is Sam, and today is gonna be more of a review than just like an event. As some of you may have seen on the channel, I put up a post about the Sentra Spec V becoming 1 year old of ownership for me. I wanted to make this video, I'm gonna call it Living a Top Gear Challenge, because Top Gear in both UK and US would give a budget of about 5K to buy a car and have it be the car they use. Perfectly enough, that is how much the Spec V costs. With tax, I think $4,700. So when I got it, it had about 119,000 on it. It is currently at 135,260. Which obviously I've driven it quite a bit, it would seem, but I mean that makes sense with all the events I go to, as well as driving back and forth to Philly, the few times I drive out to Ohio, stuff like that. I'm in like the Shenley area where we have the Vintage Grand Prix during the summer, but during the rest of the year it's a nice park to be by. Pretty much how experience owning the car has been, as well as pros, cons, stuff like that, things I've noticed. First thing about the Spec V, I did not realize when I bought it how quickly I'd be going through gas. That is in part because I like to rev it, because it pops on the exhaust, as some of you have heard, and I'll insert an exhaust clip here. It does only take premium, and it's got about a 14.5 gallon tank. $40 for a full tank. A little difficult when, you know, you're a college student. Thing number two that I want to say, it handles so well. So I know that it was a while back, but Spencer Burke had done a video in Pittsburgh, and he saw my car, and I have a Nürburgring thing on the back of my car. And most people think, oh, that's Ricer, that's dumb. But actually, this version of the Spec V was the only Sentra to actually be tested on the Nürburgring. So I've done a little research on this car, obviously. The person who designed the performance aspects was responsible for the R32 GTR. They wanted it to be something sporty. They wanted it to compete against the Civic Si, which performance-wise it outdoes. Sales number, not even close. Number three, one major benefit of this car. The cars I had looked at other than this, there was a Eclipse convertible, a Lincoln LS V8 sports sedan, there was a Jetta GLI with an auto, annoyingly. There were a few cars I didn't get to look at. One was a SN95 Mustang GT, the other one was a 328 convertible. Both of them were very nice. The 328 was actually what I wanted, but it was in the shop for a lot of repairs when I went to see it, so out of the question. There was a Saab 9.3 sedan from 2008 and a Saab 9.3 convertible turbo coupe from 03. And I mean, this car, there's one major thing this car does better than them. It has a huge trunk. So this car has, I think it's a 14 cubic foot trunk, and because of that, it is perfect for like commuting to like back and forth to Philly. I've got room for suitcase, I've got room for backpack in there with everything. Its trunk was big enough, I carried 2 of the wheels in that and 2 in the rear seats. The only downside is, because it has the crossbars in the trunk welded to the back of the seats, the rear seats don't fold down. So that is quite a bit of space that I don't have access to. Yeah, number 4. The car is, as much as I love it, it's very annoying having to tell people what it is. So obviously the Spec V is not a super well-known car in this body style. The B15, B14, stuff like that, all of those were super popular in the tuner scene. You can see them in like Fast and Furious 2, stuff like that. But this version, that version of the car, is not super well known, I think there's 3 in Pennsylvania. One is in a town called Altoona, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive from here. The guy uses it for some reason as a drag car. And there was one a bit ago that showed up for sale back in Philly, around the same area I bought this, for about $1,000 more. It did have GPS, which is the one thing this doesn't have. Had a lot fewer miles, but it was also the same year as my car, so any of the problems I would have with this are what I would have with that car as well. But the thing is, people see it, they think it's Ricer or something like that. Obviously, I mean, with my red brakes and the stickers along the sides and stuff like that. The bright red R in SER Spec V. It is kind of Ricer, but it's factory Rice for a lot of it. In the same way as like the Civic Si and the WRX STI. Anything with like a big wing from factory or loud exhaust, things like that that don't look like they should have it. It's pretty much in the same category, I'd say, as that in terms of appearance. 5. I would say number 5 is the, like, just general how much it is to maintain a car. Obviously, it's 10 years, 11 years old now, actually. Fairly high mileage, but how much it is to maintain. So this one, actually, it's cost me and my family, because they pay for most of it, it's cost quite a bit to maintain because previous owners have obviously neglected it. I recently got the rear brakes replaced because I thought I needed new front ones, but when I brought it to the mechanic I go to, he said the only reason you'd need new front ones is because the rear ones look like they were still the factory brakes. So $136,000 almost on it, on factory rear brakes, is very bad. That cost a few $100s to fix. Wiring in the headlights has gone, and I had to get that fixed, needed new bulbs in it. But like aesthetic mods, stuff like that, any of the paint things I've done to it, the shift knob, everything, it has been a few $100s, if not more, just to maintain the car, make sure it's in good condition, to the best of my ability. It is a first car. I think I'm the 5th owner of it, and it's got about 135K on it, which is why I'm starting to think, what's the next car, what's the next move? Number 6, I think, is the paint on this car. Now, I mean, obviously when I got the car, paint was not bad. There's evidence of where like it's been bumped before, stuff like that. But the paint on the front end, I don't know if it's because there's no like clear coat, or not clear coat, like a protection film or something. But the paint has chipped off quite a lot along the bumper. You've seen like the scratches on it, but along the bottom, that is all from like rocks being kicked up by trucks in front of me, road salt, and just gravel in general. And I'm not sure why it cut through the paint so much as it did, but nonetheless it did. Doesn't look great, obviously. Not sure what I'll do about that. Very little I can do. It's either repaint it or just deal with it. So that is its own thing. Also, the car gets dirty very easily, and I only can see it because, as I've mentioned before, I was a detailer for about 1.5 years, working with BMW, Mini, Nissan, Cadillac, stuff like that. I mean, I haven't detailed this car in quite a while, but there's, like, I can run my hand along the side of it and see a difference in how much dirt I'm taking off with just rubbing my hand along it. So that's a little much. Yeah. Spec V. Obviously, there's a big reason I chose this, and I'd say it's the fun factor. Because this is very similar to a few cars on the market, like the Fiat 500 Abarth, John Cooper Works, Minis, stuff like that. It has no right being as fun as it is. Because on the outside, yeah, it's kind of a Ricer looking version of a Sentra, but it handles really well. It's really quick on power. I mean, it does 0 to 60 in 6 seconds dead, even with the mileage I have on it. Came with a lot of features. Sunroof is one of my favorites, even though it makes it kind of blinding, on the video at least. But it's a maneuverable car, and it's genuinely just a lot of fun. I do need to still do an exhaust on it, because I just haven't gotten to. I just can't help smiling. This car has no right being as much fun as it is. So here we go. And yeah, I know the camera's very shaky. Roads are not great. My mount is fairly cheap, and the suspension is pretty hard. But yeah, we're gonna just do a quick run. And then there's actually another road that's a lot of fun too, that I'll put this car on. I need to do like track days with this thing. I really do. It's so much fun. Right out the bat. Like that was second to third, and it holds power really well, which is why I want to do a turbo on this also. If I hold on to it that long. Noise rattling in the back is another bottle of wiper fluid, as I said, but it's just a fun car. It really is, and it helps that there's every now and then these fun roads in the area, but like it's just a lot of fun to drive this thing. And honestly, like almost at any speed it's fun. Because low end you've got just that kind of like verbal on the exhaust. High end, you can tell this is a car set up for handling performance, not straight line speed, even though it's not bad with that. But it's really good at this section. But yeah, the area here, it makes for some very fun roads, and this is almost the perfect car to tackle it. I feel like if it was a bit more powerful, a bit louder, obviously, things that every tuner car enthusiast wants, it would make it perfect through here. Going just another little area right here. A nice area to be, nice and green, which I don't actually like because it's supposed to be winter. But it makes for some nice pictures in this area. And even with how not really photogenic the Spec V is, it does photograph well, as you may have seen on my Instagram, stuff like that. It does look kind of cool. Not too bad. There are definitely cars that are uglier, that's for sure. Looking forward to a few things coming up. Obviously end of semester, meaning end of my college career, which some of you have been with me literally for almost 4 years at this point. I wish I remembered exactly what channels, what accounts had been with me from the beginning, but thank you so much for all you that are. That's 1 year in review with the Sentra Spec V. Many, many more miles to go with it, most likely. Hopefully, obviously. But yeah, this car, I don't think I could have asked for a better first car. If you like the video, like, comment, share, subscribe, and until then, I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.